So, pursuant to last Wednesday, the right to feel safe cannot be a natural right. Do you mean that the way it sounds? I hope not, because I'm reading that as in you don't have the right or you should have the right. I'm not sure.
Well, it depends on the emphasis on the word feel. Feelings are never a natural right. You don't have a natural right to have a certain feeling. But you have a right to not be assaulted. That's true. And you have a right to not endure being threatened. That's true. So yeah, like you, I'm not 100% sure where this is coming from, Tobias. If you could just send us a clarifying comment, that would be appreciated.
I have a right to not have my arm amputated by a machete. I have a right to not have 11 stab wounds in my face. I have a right to drive my car and not have a head-on collision with a bailed criminal driving 100 kilometers an hour. You know, I would say I have a right to not feel like every time I leave my house, someone's going to try and take my life or take what I've worked for. I would say that's a pretty reasonable common sense approach. But like I said, I want to share something with you guys because finally something fucking worked. And I think it's because I cried on the podcast last week. We now have 13,683 signatures.
That is amazing, Carly. I hope you are incredibly proud because you've made that happen and you deserve to be proud.
Well, thank you. It only took me losing my absolute freaking mind on a podcast. And I think the reason I'm so passionate about this is, you know, as I've said before 100 times, Topher's the political commentator. Like Topher, 16 years under his belt doing the political thing. I'm not that. I'm never going to be that. If you guys are expecting that from me, like I'm going to disappoint you. I am Carlz, a small business owner. I'm Carlz, a photographer, but I have become very passionate about this because I'm a small business owner. That's the seat I fill in this podcast. But when I see things like this is common sense to me. Like, we could argue policy, Labor, Liberal, left, right, whatever you want. But this is common sense. This doesn't deserve a political nuance to it. This is common sense about if someone breaks into my house, I have every right to defend myself. I don't understand why this is even a question. So when people sit there and they go, oh, well, pardon me, policy this, policy that, I get so angry because I'm like, get the politics out of the way, you know? And, you know, as I said, G's mum's downstairs and she didn't actually know we got broken into. But like I said, we got away with it relatively unscathed. We didn't see them and we didn't confront them. We were told it happened because the police woke us up, right? I can't imagine what it's like to be so frustrated hearing that everyone else is having their homes broken into that now you kind of expect it. And then it does happen to you. You go and confront them because you feel like you'll be able to chase these 14-year-olds off. And then they turn around and assault you with a hammer or stab you in the face 11 times. I get frustrated because to me, that's not political. To me, what we need is to put the boot on the neck of these kids and teach them some goddamn friggin' manners. But parents these days just want to be their friends. They don't want to be their parents. The government discourages parents from being parents, and I get really fucking mad because mostly I want to be left alone to do my own thing. I don't really care what other people do, but when people are coming into my home and taking away my peace and you rattle my bucket, that's when you get spicy, Carlz. But then when I see I got my bucket rattled and I spoke up about it and most people are like, not my problem, don't care. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. We're all being assaulted by machetes. I start going, what will it take for you to take action? And I could not believe that bloody petition hadn't even reached 10,000 in the first day. I was so angry with Victorians. And like, I'm on a rant now, so I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah,
but
just go.
We talk about this all the time. Aussies are such whingers. It makes sense. We're descendants from the British. But we'll sit here and bitch and moan all day about what the problems are and what government's doing here. But when push comes to shove, I keep telling you, we are lazy. Australians won't even do the bare minimum. They'll sit there and write their anti-comment on Facebook. They'll get all shitty in the comments. But taking the step to do the petition was too hard. What do we expect when it comes to voting good politicians in? Like, you know, I see people in the comments every day. I'm not done. Let me go. When I see people in the comments whinging about our MPs and whinging about the decisions being made for the country, I always come back and go, what are you doing about it? Because you can do something, you just choose not to. And that thing is either going into politics yourself because you can, or going and organizing a petition or going and strategizing and getting more people involved. But no, it's too fucking hard. And now what you have is a whole bunch of millennials and Gen Xers who are sitting around going, hang on a minute, our parents had it so much easier. Why is it so hard? Well, do you know why it's so hard, sweetheart? Because you've had your foot off the gas. You've been waiting for everything to be handed to you. And now the money's drying up and you're getting really mad about it. You're like, why is this happening to me? Well, it's happening to yourself because you're not even in control of your own bloody life. That's what pisses me off about Australians. You had life too bloody good. Now it's going to shit and you're still turning around going, oh, it's not happening to me, so it's not really my problem.
Can I make you even angrier? Just for fun.
Oh, God.
I told everybody I'd try. And this is going to piss off you. This is going to piss, actually, it's probably going to piss off our viewers a lot more than it's going to piss off you. We deserve this.
I said that. Piss off. That was my quote.
That's the bottom line. I've been saying this for years. We are getting the government we deserve. We are getting the government we deserve.
Comments like this, I'm sure you're just trying to stir me up, but I saw a lot of that during the recent federal election. Oh, I'm just not going to vote. Doesn't matter. Yeah. And I sit there and I go, okay, so don't vote. Don't vote. Well, then you just revoked your right to call it out. You know, like if you're not going to vote, if you're not going to participate in the system we currently have, sure, I have a lot of issues with that system. But if you're not even going to participate, you have no right to whinge. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's that simple.
But it actually gets even worse than that, Carly. You talk about, can we not make this about politics? And you're right in terms of the partisan politics. But in the end, it does have to come down to a policy that gets passed through Parliament and implemented in our courts or by our police. So in the end, it does actually have to end up in that room, in that building, being debated. And this is why I applaud you for your petition, because now it is going to be debated. And so we hit the 10,000, or you hit the 10,000 signature threshold. You've forced it to go onto the floor of Parliament. The most interesting part of this for me is going to be to see whether Jacinta Allen shows up. Does she have the guts to be in the room when David Limbrick, who is the MP that sponsored this parliamentary petition, then gets the floor and can kick off that debate? He'll read the petition and he can kick off that debate. Will Jacinta be in the room herself, or is she too scared? That's what is going to be really interesting to me from here.
Well, forgive me if I get this incorrect, but when David gets up and reads the petition and goes to debate, they can either opt in or opt out. So there is I don't think it will be the case, pardon me, but of all the people sitting in the upper house, they can choose to decline to debate. And that's it. That's the end of the petition. That will piss me off, but that will speak to the cavalier attitude of our politicians. You've just watched another short clip from the Oddcast, and if you'd like to see the full video, it is over at our dedicated channel. That is the Oddcast HQ on YouTube. We will see you there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a chat in the comments.